Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another recipe for adventure with me, your host, Freebiewits, and my good friend and co-host, Sai. Sai, please say hello.
Only because you said please. Hello.
It's finally happened, everybody. What is this, episode 19 or something? It's finally happened, and then we didn't even have to wait till the 100 mark.
You said please, and as a respectable adult, I have to go by the rules of please.
Oh, hell yeah, I'll never do it again.
Yeah, that's cheating.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Sai. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So on to our. I will mention a little real world stuff at the moment. Sai and I are both Australians. I won't dox us more than we have to, but we have a Cyclone Albert potentially moving near us. We're not going to be hit directly by it. We hope, touch wood, all that stuff. But it is a bit scary, so if you don't see us for a bit after the release of this video, for whatever reason, you'll know we're both, one or both of us are at the bottom of the sea. Hopefully
Hey,
not.
I can float in the air. I'll be fine.
God damn
It's
eyeball
you
monster.
that it's you that's got to be worried. You're wearing armor.
Okay, point taken. So
Yes, everyone, I'll be fine. So don't worry about me. Just worry about my friend here. He's going to need it.
we'll probably be fine.
Yeah,
Just
it should be fine.
yeah. Uh, Anyways, so as every week, I have a little question for you that's somewhat related to the game, and I do have a little caveat which I will mention. My question is, what is something tabletop related you've done that you completely what's the word? Hang on, I'm having a little brain fart. What's something tabletop related that you deny? Wait, hang on. I'm having a complete brain fart. What's that word when you don't like
Repressed?
not repressed, but uh dang it. You regret. That's the word I'm looking for. How did I forget the word
That
regret?
I regret.
Yeah, that you regret doing. Like 100%. So it has to be
Ooh.
100% something that if you could go back in time, you would undo it. Whether as a DM or player, I'll let you pick and choose which experience.
Yeah, this one's a bit harder for me because I try to live with my decisions.
Sure.
Um, if I think about things, no, I know of exactly one which I repress and I like to pretend
And you just regret
goes
it.
different. That goes. I like to pretend, and I literally spend time when I think about it, repressing the memory of what actually happened
Uh-huh.
and pretending that something different happened.
Oh, that bad,
So
huh?
I do. Oh, I do have one. If you remember, very early on, we talked about my first character
Right,
that I
yeah.
ever played.
The monk, right?
Uh, yes, the monk and how they died a horrible death.
Yep.
Yeah. So same campaign.
Yeah, huh?
I'm playing my second character,
Mm-hmm.
who's also a monk, but I've made him a bit different. I've rebuilt, given him a cool backstory, given him a name, all that.
Sure.
Um, so we get to the final battle of the campaign,
Mm-hmm.
and as a caveat, I'll let you know that the campaign had so many people in it at the start because it was the case of the DM "Hey, anyone who wants to join, come on over, start things up," and realized, okay, a lot more people have come than I anticipated.
And he did not know how to
I'll
say go away or no.
What he did was okay, I'll split you into two groups,
Okay.
and so he ran the same overall scenario for two different players with the idea that they'd be working different angles of the same problem, and eventually the campaign finished with the two parties bumping heads, trying to accomplish different tasks with the scenario.
From a thematic standpoint, I actually like the idea of this. Mechanically speaking, I could see how this could be difficult.
So, the first problem to the scenario
Uh-huh.
was that one of the players played in both groups. He was a good friend of the DM, and he
Oh,
played in both.
no.
So, when it came time, he picked which character he wished to play.
Oh,
He
no.
chose the one for the other group,
Mm-hmm.
and so the DM had to play the other character.
Mm-hmm.
And that meant that he had a little bit harder time keeping track of everything, because he also had to basically play out one, like a player character as well in the scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I won't go into the full details because otherwise I will take the entire hour.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
We'll save that idea for another video.
that is like a special something, I guess. So, party fight is happening. My character, the monk, whose name was Sai, which is where I get my nickname from, went to fight the ranger. The ranger who killed my previous character.
Oh.
The ranger put themselves up on a wall, and as the monk, I was the fastest one. So I basically went after the ranged character who put themselves up onto the wall, but technically cornered themselves up there.
Sure.
So I charged up, fought, and defeated the ranger. My regret, realistically speaking, is I had a chance that I could have just left and reported the situation and what was going to happen. Because we were split into what was effectively the good team and the evil team.
Sure.
And I was not on the evil team.
So what do you mean you could have left to report then?
As of the point where I defeated the ranger, two of the party members had been on my side had been killed, and a third had betrayed us.
Ew.
I decided to go down and try to fight the valiant fight. But I think it would have been far more logical and made far more sense to be like, I have to retreat and report what's going to happen. Like, I am outnumbered. My last teammate is basically dead already.
I mean,
my character died fighting valiantly, but it was not like I put up a good fight once I walked back down those steps. No, I got brutally murdered instantly.
I think I disagree with you conceptually in that I think this makes for a better story. In that
I went out with the team.
Well, not even that. More that. Okay, obviously your two characters didn't really know each other. What did they?
No.
Roleplay wise, no.
Okay,
no. So
as a player, you defeating the ranger was great.
It was very cathartic from what I could. So to me, like an outside perspective, it sounds like you chose the path of vengeance rather than like the path of like the greater good, which I think makes for a better story in the Greek tragedy settings.
As a player, that's what makes sense. However, as a character, I made the wrong choice, and that's what my regret is. Is that I picked a choice that I, as a player, wanted, not the choice that I, as a character, should have. And it's my first campaign ever playing D&D. I make mistakes. I'm very new to it all. But that still lives with me, right? It's like I broke character to pursue
your vendetta.
Technically, fighting the ranger was a smart decision regardless. But sticking in the fight and fighting everyone else,
the fact that you ignored the surrounding situation.
Yeah.
That's what gotcha.
I regret kind of breaking character in choosing the choice that I did, rather than picking like I was playing a monk, a wise individual who should obviously make wise decisions, and being outnumbered like effectively 7-2, or I guess technically it would be 6-2 at the time. No, six. It would be five.
Point was you weren't winning a head-on fight, no matter what.
There was no way we were winning, and particularly with our bard literally betraying us, no chance.
That is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, so it's like as a wise character, my monk would have decided like, I could easily escape from this point. I have a rope. I can scale down the walls, and I can go and warn it like the town we're from what is about to happen,
and save some lives and whatnot that way.
Yeah. But instead, I walked down, and by the time I was down the steps anyway, my last teammate was already defeated, and killed. So I couldn't even save them, even if I wanted to.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
I can see how that's one of your biggest regrets now.
Yeah, because it's like the story as a player, great. Story as like me acknowledging that I broke a character, my character died a second time in that campaign because of a choice I made as a player.
That does make it hurt a bit.
Yeah, it's my regret, but it's a regret from like my earliest days of playing D&D, from before I was even a DM.
No, I get that. Oh. All right. I will share with you my big one regret. And I have this friend. I'm not sure if you met him, James, but he is a wonderful DM. I just happen to have the worst luck in keeping my characters alive. That's not too relevant to the story. I'm just pointing out who my friend James is. And I played with him a lot, and usually when my characters die, it's because of a roleplay situation, and I'm pretty, well, I wouldn't say happy, but I'm perfectly understandable, and sometimes happy that my characters do die. So that's me and James's relationship. We've known each other for years at this point. Longer than you, I've known you and I, actually, but to the point.
Like, don't worry, I have a DM that I have a 50-50 chance of surviving to the end of the campaign with. And I've played multiple campaigns with them.
So, I remember that I wanted to be a DM for once, right? And I decided, okay, there's going to be two ways about this. Number one, I can either run a pre-made module and ease myself into it, or I can throw myself into deepest end possible. And I went with the second option by inviting everyone I knew to play. And I think I got a 20-person party. Everyone had a great time because they were all friends and whatnot. But the actual game itself, the actual D&D game, you can imagine how that went. It did not go very well or anywhere per se.
Yeah.
Like one of the players' characters died and came back to life. They ran around a marketplace, and it just took forever to get anything done. And I think the largest party I've ever had after that was like maybe five people together. I have learned my lesson. That is my biggest regret.
Yeah, my biggest party was 8, and I learned my lesson from that one as well.
Yeah, eight people's already too much for me, I think, if I ever did it. But like, I decided to, just go with 20 people for. I don't know what I was thinking. Kids, if you're watching this, don't do that. Stick with like at most 4 to 5 people. 6 if you're feeling spicy. But like, I've had tons of fun with like a 3-person party, and I'd imagine having 1 or 2 players on their own would also be quite fun as well.
Yeah, I play in a 2-person campaign. It's great because you can go full body cop with it.
Yeah, and it's like, people are always like, how do you run a game like that? Like you said, buddy cop it. Or like if it's a single person, like you run it like a movie then. Like there's the main character, go for it.
I've also done a very, very fun single player game. Went for 3 sessions, and it was by far one of my most like favorite role playing experiences of all time, and I still reminisce about it to this day.
There you go. Like, smaller groups mean you can give more focus to like individuals. Like, and
Hmm.
I think the only reason why group play is more fun, can be more fun, is two reasons. Number one, everyone is friends and they like spending time together. And number two, because of the way abilities can work with each other, the combinations, and of course, turn economy, it means you can throw more interesting fights at people. Because, like, if I throw, like, I don't know, a dragon at someone at, like, when they're, like, level 4 or 5, they're probably going to die. They're probably not going to be even able to escape on a normal day. But if you have a party of level 5 people, they're probably going to find a BS way to beat up that dragon and make it beg for mercy. Like, it's just how it works, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like group sizes just exponentially make people like more and more dangerous because nobody's scared of a
Mm.
single like fighter, but like a fighter backed up by a wizard, a cleric, and a rogue. Oh, that's a spicy meatball right there.
Well, that's because of in D&D Fifth Edition something we refer to as the action economy.
Yeah,
The
the,
side that has more actions has the advantage.
absolutely, absolutely. I wonder if that's what makes Tucker's Kobold so scary. Uh,
Tucker's Kobold
it's more
is,
Tress, I suppose.
well, like the Tucker's Kobold scenario. Um, for those who do not know, is basically uh, from a scenario that some players played a long time ago, where it was like a multi-level dungeon, and on the first floor of the dungeon there were some kobolds, and no matter how much the party progressed down below, fighting demons and other powerful entities, they were always afraid of coming back to the first floor because the kobolds there were well planned and were masters of traps and hit and run tactics. And so whenever they traveled through the first floor, they had to go around the kobold area or risk everyone dying
Just
because of just good tactics.
mm.
And a lot of kobolds shooting crossbows out of arrow slits that would be closed straight afterwards.
Oh, beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm. One
Anyway,
time I replicated something like that, a player died.
oh,
So I confirm its effectiveness.
all right. So enough about talking about killing players. Let's talk about
Let's kill more
killing.
players.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's kill some players. Wait, you
sure.
mean characters, right?
I stand by what I said. But if we wanna talk about like our adventure and what the slow recipe we put together, I suppose we can just arrange for a dangerous scenario.
Oh, right. You've created the Pirate Cove, if I remember correctly.
uh, Not just a pirate cove,
Pirates at Sea. Ooh,
and
hello.
a pirateless cove as well.
No, I saw that in like the little thumbnails. Oh, beautiful. Oh, hang on.
Yeah,
I've got to go back to the Death Vice lair for a second. So the players are still level 3 in this scenario, if I remember correctly.
yeah, they are level 3. They've only been level 3 for a short bit of time. They might have done a side quest involving the pinch,
You mean the Death
but
Vice? Oh, the Pinch, right. The Pinch from the
yes,
Christmas special. I almost forgot about
yeah,
them.
yes, and then they fought the Death Vice. Um, like both are like boss fights,
Hmm.
but I would not say that that should be enough for them to just level up to level 4.
No, not yet.
I I I think we want them to have some sort of like meaningful scenario first.
Absolutely.
And considering how we're going, I think the meaningful scenario has to be the resolution of the Civil War. Or
I wouldn't even call it a civil war, civil conflict at the moment, because they're not exactly at each other's throats yet.
yeah, yeah, like resolving the civic tension.
Oh, yes. I like that word, tension. Oh, that's much better.
Yes, yes. So let's think about this tension situation. We have the priestess.
Hmm.
She is the party's ticket to getting the Phoenix Feather.
Priestess.
So starting, yeah,
to Phoenix Feather. Yep.
and we should establish right from the start, she does not have the Phoenix Feather on her. She knows where it is.
Doesn't have it, but knows.
Yeah. And so that basically establishes from the start, siding with the priestess is probably a smart idea. The party might try to like ask around to see if anyone else knows, but I think we should stick with the fact that it's the priestess who knows.
We don't want to do like something subversive and like have like the other characters know and get them to turn against the priestess. Nothing like that. No. Okay. Don't like even present it as an option at the moment.
Yeah, like that could be cool theoretically, but that would also make the scenario
very messy,
so much more complicated and messy.
We want this campaign, the recipe for adventure campaign, to be straightforward, relatively speaking.
Yeah, and not to mention, we are potentially introducing the concept of devils here. We are already injecting some unexpected scenarios into here. We don't want to put all like this layer. Chaos on top of it. Yeah.
Okay. Things are like messy enough as it is your point.
Yes.
I see where you're coming from. Okay. All right. So priestess knows about ticket. I mean, the Phoenix Feather doesn't have it. Doesn't have, but knows. So let me double check. Silver Chain Trading Company. If the players accuse them of being part of the Chain Gang, they will deny and disparage the Chain Gang for selling the name with such a similar naming convention. So, did we want to? I can't remember what we discussed last week, but did we want to say that the Phoenix Feather is in the possession of the pirates, or do we want to say it's somewhere else?
I want to say somewhere else because I want to design a cool, like, underwater dungeon.
Okay, we will do it that way.
Like, I like the idea of coming here, solving the Sargon situation, so that the priestess could be like, it is over here, it is dangerous, and then level 4 is doing this small, like, a bit bigger dungeon than, say, like, the lighthouse. But doing, like, this small little dungeon.
Do we want the actual cove to be a proper dungeon in of itself, or do we just want the players to fight the pirates and that'll be it on this area?
I think we could do the cove as part of like a small little dungeon layout with caves and stuff. That could work. Because yeah, I think what we need to work out right is what we need to do to get the situation working. So the Silver Chain, the 2 cloaked humans. I believe we established last time that they are technically working for Father Giovanni, right?
That's correct. They are bandits specifically specializing in cat's paws and manipulation.
Yeah. So, to that effect, the pirates are taking the role of the bandit forces at this point.
They're not specifically part of the Chain Gang, but they're being used by the Chain Gang.
Yeah. So, we now need to. What we will need to do is establish the pirates as a problem. And it's like, how are they a problem? How is their presence causing the disruption, the tensions here? Like, are the Sahagins that are like, let's say, traditionalists? Do they dislike humans because the pirates are a problem?
I think that's a part of it. They're painting them in the same light, like the same way, and I'm going to get into real world politics here, the same way like the drug cartels in America who are Mexican make some Americans really like all Mexicans.
Yeah, it's a stereotype that's created by like one bad experience or several bad individuals who then people then be like, everyone from that is the same. Yeah, it's stereotyping based on like first contact, or
precisely,
like most like well-known example. It's like people don't hear much about the person who lives down the street and just lives a normal life, doing normal things, and says hi to their neighbors.
Mm.
No, they hear about murders. They hear about criminals, because that's the news that is like that's the stuff you have to be aware of to keep yourself safe. You don't need to hear about the guy who's friendly with his neighbors. You can from gossip, but
It's not.
yeah,
It doesn't have as big an impact.
yeah. And so you will hear about the bad people. You won't necessarily hear about the good people, and that will unfortunately form biases. And so I can see the pirates, them existing here, causing a biasy for the saga. So, do we think it's a simple enough case of we come in, we beat up the pirates,
Oh,
yata, everything is good, or
go on.
or do we think it's more of a situation where you have to go to the traditionalists, do something small to be like, hey, no, we are friendly, and then talk to them, realize, oh, the pirates are actually causing trouble, then deal with the pirates?
That's a good idea. In that case, instead of saying the priestess will offer the location of Phoenix Feather if they get rid of the pirates, instead I'll say she will offer the location of Feather if they can help the traditionalists with their problem first.
Yeah, because it's like the priestess uses this as a, hey, the adventurers, the mortals, the surface dwellers, they are good people. There are good surface dwellers. So it's good, and so yeah, it's good for her. So yeah, no, that's all good. Show that the more humans improve themselves is helpful. So, okay, we got a good start here.
Not even traditionalists, isolationists.
Isolationist also works fine.
Yeah. So help the traditionalists. So help the traditionalists with their problem first. In the meantime, it's getting late. The priestess. I think we should give the players a chance to rest. The priestess will offer safe room and board in the temple for the players to have a long rest. Do we want any complications or maybe visits from the chain gang or anything like that? Not necessarily an assassination attempt, but something to subvert them.
Well, how about because we want to start introducing the idea of the imps.
Sure. Oh yeah.
So how about in the middle of the night, someone could notice, considering what imps can turn into, spider makes sense. A spider, a large spider in the upper corner of the room that just the players, if they roll high enough, can see that it's just staring at them, and if they look back too much, the spider skitters off.
So before the players head to bed for the night, they can roll a purse. How much DC? It doesn't have to be too big.
I'd say a 14 or a 15.
Yeah, I'd say 14. I want to make it easy enough that they can get the clue, but not so easy that everyone will get a DC 14. They notice a spider staring at them. If the players try to investigate, it will attempt to scurry off into a crack in the wall. And I'm going to put in brackets, this spider is actually an imp that is spying on them.
Yep. Okay.
a disguised imp. So the idea is if the players have detect magic or decide to do something along those lines, they can like
Yeah.
figure out, hang on, that's not a normal spider, like immediately.
Yeah, it's like alteration magics. Interesting.
Mm-mm.
Coming from the spider? Oh dear, that's a disguise.
So they may not come to the conclusion that it's an imp specifically at that second,
Yeah,
and if they,
because realistically, technically that could be like a druid.
yeah, I will say, uh, if the players decide to immediately attack the spider upon spotting them, do we want to give players a chance to attack it, or do we just say, "Oh, since you noticed it, it's just scurry back into a hole"? Do we even want to give them a chance to attack it?
If they attack it,
Mm-hmm.
have it turn invisible straight after the first attack.
Mm-mm.
Because that will let them know, wait, how did it turn invisible? Because that's something imps can do. Imps can not just transform, they can also turn invisible. And so if the spider turns invisible, that can give them a clue as to
Something's
what they
going
might be dealing
wrong.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It's like, okay, it's transformed and can turn invisible. Druids can't do that unless they're like incredibly powerful.
Yeah, so that's like, oh, that's good. Wait, how many hit points do imps have?
The regular imp isn't too too strong. Let me have a look. It should be in just the are they not? Wow. Does Roll20 not have an imp token?
Wait, what?
It does. Okay. Never mind. It was just not detecting it for some reason. Okay. Imp. Let's see. The imp has 10 hit points.
Oh, I can see it, they'd have to be reasonably lucky, but I can see a player character doing 10 damage to an imp.
Now, here's the thing: if an imp is defeated, it will basically disappear in a puff of like sulfurous smoke, not leaving a body behind,
Hmm.
because it's a devil. And so they won't even have proof that there was something actually there. So if the
That's
Sahagin come to investigate,
oh
there's nothing there.
oh wait, hang on. So how do you describe their death? It will disappear in a puff of
Of like sulfurous smoke.
sulfuric smoke. So that what would, like, I assume like that's so specific of like a death.
Yeah.
So like,
That someone would be able to tell, wait a second, that was that a devil?
yeah, pretty much. So I
I,
would
I,
say,
I would allow him to roll like a religion or like Arcana check at DC 10 to work that out if they don't know automatically.
religion slash, yep, religion slash arcane. Oh, I misspelled religion.
Religion,
Religion.
go.
But roll a religion slash arcane DC 10 check to.
Arcana.
Oh, my bad. Correct.
It's all
To
good.
know that it was an imp. So the imp upon dying doesn't even like de-transform back into its original self. It just immediately turns into smoke.
I would imagine so.
Hmm.
Or maybe they would witness like the body kind of change, but yeah, it as soon as it dies, it just puffs into smoke, leaving nothing behind.
I like that.
So there might be like signs of it like shape like starting to like change, but if it takes 10 damage immediately, it's just going to be like
Gone.
squished and then puff. Yeah.
I like this. I like this. So, oh, so players can like, okay, imp. This isn't even their first time potentially seeing an imp, is it? It's because like throughout the adventure, we've sprinkled them in as like spies around the place. I'm pretty sure.
We have suggested that they are around,
Hmm.
but I think this would technically be our first time actually seeing one.
Mm. Actually, having the players having the proper chance to take one down, even.
Yeah. because like we have implied through our plans that there are imps watching stuff. But yes, this would be the first time that the party would have a chance to actually interact with one.
Mm, 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 mm.
And this is the first sign that there are potentially devils afoot.
Mm. Excellent. All right, so the next morning, the temple is approached by representatives of the isolationists. They what's that turn of phrase where they stick their nose up at the players?
Haughty.
They behave haughty towards players, refusing to speak common or any other language besides Aquan.
Because like technically most Sahagins have just Sahagan as a language.
Mm-hmm.
But I am totally okay with them speaking Aquan
I just
because
want to.
we can do something with that with our little temple dungeon later.
I just like his Sawagan's not a normally accessible language by the
No.
players, so I want to give him a chance to be able to, well, have it basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, blah blah blah. Words. Oscar. I'm perfectly happy with them knowing Aquan. Yes. So, anyways,
Yeah.
they behave haughty towards players, refusing to speak Common or any other language besides Aquan. The priestess explains that she invited them as a gesture of goodwill. The representatives in Aquan will say, "You call this goodwill? You said you had someone who could fix our problem. All I see are the people who made the problem in the first place."
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, right? So it's that
If
whole...
you understand, it's like, oh, okay.
Well, so players like can't interject here and stuff and make it a bit organic, but otherwise, the priestess will try to calm them down and tell them to give the mainlanders a chance, and that not all landwalkers are the same. They isolate the representative. What's the word where they feel like they're doing it but they don't like it? There's a word for it. Begrudgingly. Yes, that's a word.
Yeah, begrudgingly or reluctantly.
Begrudgingly begins speaking in an accented version of Common. Fine. There is a sacred... what's the word? Sacred feeding grounds that your fellow landwalkers have taken over with their ships and raiding party. Go there and get rid of them.
I don't know if I want to make that the first thing.
Oh, the pirate thingy? No.
Yeah, I kind of want to, like, I feel like I want the representative to be more like, it's like, how do I trust them? It's like they're just going to go to the other landwalkers and tell them that we know where they are.
Ah, I see what you mean. So,
Yeah.
what would their test be then?
So I'm I'm thinking of a couple of things. One could be like a test of combat,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, it's because like for the Sahagins, they have the blood frenzy, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I imagine from their perspective, as since they don't, particularly the isolationists, don't interact with the humans,
Mm-hmm.
they would probably assume that the humans had the same thing. And so a fight where the objective is to defeat the enemies and not kill them,
Mm-hmm.
like that would be a sign of trust, right?
Okay.
Because for them, it's like there's the frenzy, the desire to kill. And so if the players kill any of the Sahagin in the mock like fight, it's a sign of like, yeah, they can't be trusted. They
Mm.
can't even resist their basic urges.
Do we want to make like so we go back to the Rainbow Shield perhaps and like what is there a whale actually and have them fight on the whale?
Oh, that would be cool. Um, is there just a random whale that we could do on the Rainbow Shield?
Or
That
even
would be cool.
maybe not a whale because a whale could be too big, I suppose, like scale wise. A giant turtle or something even would be cool. Turtle. I like the turtle. Ah, here we go.
Well, there is the dragon turtle that I happen to have a token of.
Oh. No, I think the dragon turtle would be a bit too powerful because if they had that, why aren't they using that to fix all their problems? Nah, a
Like,
giant normal turtle is fine for them to like. It's like, all
yeah,
right,
just
so we can have a giant turtle, and the players could fight like the Sawagan on it or something like that. So,
yeah.
so they'll say, "Fine, your
I'd make
fate."
I'd make the turtle a bit bigger potentially.
Oh, I don't mind it to being uh just as small, just so like more intimate, and you can make this like a
Well,
one-on-one fight sort of thing if we want.
if we wanted to, I kind of want the party to have like the potential for the entire party to fight.
Mm-hmm.
However, because like there's representatives, not just the one.
Mm-mm. In that case, how
And
about multiple turtles?
I can appreciate Marvel Turtles because that would be really cool.
Mm-mm-mm.
And so you can like try to jump from one turtle to the other and all that stuff, or just swim over to the other turtle.
Exactly, exactly. That's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah. So, because like one thing I wanted to do is there's technically like a couple of kinds of like other Sahagan.
Yeah.
The,
Oh.
the the basic book has three, which is the standard Sahagan we're using at the moment, the Sahagan Priestess, and then the Sahagan Baron. The
Oh.
Baron CR the Baron CR5. I don't want to make the representative a Baron because he is basically a boss fight in his own right.
Mm.
But thankfully for us, the Ghosts of Saltmarsh campaign, which came out very early in 5th edition,
Mm-hmm.
brought out a bunch of other types of Sahagan.
Oh. Let's sprinkle them in on the turtle. So I just want him to say, "You will face our champions."
Well, okay. If you want a champion, there is literally one called the Sahagan champion that is CR3.
Oh yeah, let's throw them at him. Yeah, you'll face our champions, and if you can resist your blood urge to kill, then we will see and acknowledge your ability, acknowledge your discipline and trustworthiness. Is there another word for trustworthiness? I feel trustworthiness is very like clunky as a word as far as like saying slash words go.
Um, hmm, yeah, trustworthiness. Hmm. Knowledge of discipline, and we'll If you can resist the urge to kill, then we will see and acknowledge your discipline. And we will begrudgingly offer trust.
Okay.
Rather than saying trustworthiness.
Oh, yeah. Maybe just offer you our trust.
Yeah. Okay. So do I have a place where I am storing these? I do not. So I will do that now. New folder. And hopefully this will actually save as a PNG. Please. Please save as a PNG. Because if this says saved as a PNG, then I automatically have a token to use. Voila! The Sahagin Champion token.
Oh.
I will have to basically build this guy from scratch, unfortunately, because his stat block is not on Roll20, but it is not hard for me to just get his stat block and then just build it quickly.
So what knowledge check would it be to figure out what a Sahuagin blood urge is? Because like this guy's mentioned blood urge.
The blood frenzy. Yeah. I would probably say nature's a good one.
Okay, because
to understand what he's referring to.
Players can roll a nature DC, let's say 12 check to know that all Sahagin have something called the blood frenzy.
Yeah, the blood frenzy.
Let me just double check what it does mechanically. Oh, no.
It gives you advantage on melee attack rolls against any creature that doesn't have all of its hit points.
I'm just trying to think how to put that in fluffy terms. Have something called the blood frenzy that makes them more effective in combat at the cost of self-control. Even though mechanically that second bit's not really in there.
Yeah. But flavorful, that's great.
As a species, like I will also mention, like, you get the impression that they take great pride in being able to retain that control as a people. So that could be like our own world's fluffiness about Swaggin. Like, I don't know how true that is in like D&D 5e canon, as it were, but in our little world, we'll say that part is canon for sure.
Well, we could just say it's just like even just for the Sahagins here, right?
Oh,
because these ones speak Aquan, so that's already just like they speak Aquan rather than like their own natural race. So that could even
this
just
specific
say
culture
it's
of Swaggin.
their specific tribe, yeah. And cool. So you could slot this into your own like worlds or anything and not change much. You can just be like, it's just this tribe that had this special thing.
So you get the impression that this specific tribe takes great pride in being able to retain that control as a people. Okay, yeah, no, I really like that idea.
Yeah, it's definitely cool.
So like,
because like it's something useful for them, but the ability to actually, like you can treat it like it's a frenzy, right? It's losing control of yourself in some manner.
I do. I already love these Sahuagin. Like, like they can talk to aquatic creatures, and we've essentially made these guys the druids of the sea because they have the control of so many sea animals already.
Technically, it's the sharks generally that they can command, but you can be like, yeah, it's like they can interact with the other sea life just as well.
Mm-mm-mm. It's like they made friends with them and such like that. Because I think like in a lot of other media, Swagan are just bloodthirsty monsters essentially that happen
Yeah,
to like be able to use spears. They're savages, and they're still kind of savage here, but like in a more, I don't know, noble way, I suppose. Like this fact that these guys, yeah, we want to control ourselves, sort of thing. Okay, so I will then continue. What did I do here? Oh, I see. I've got to. I hate it when I have to format it this way. Blip. No, 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 that won't work. Blip.
yeah.
Control
And I'm just
X.
quickly slapping together the stat sheet. It shouldn't take that much longer. I'm almost finished.
Beautiful. The Sargon will then begin chanting a word that is foreign even to the players that understand Aquan, as they are led outside to meet an island of shell. Great turtles of the sea, where they then transport players and the Swagan warriors to the Rainbow Reef, where they will fight.
Yeah. So,
No rules, except no killing. Sorry, you're saying?
the Sahuagin champion, um, he's definitely like as a CR3 creature, he is roughly like a normal fight for like an entire party. So I think what we should do is he is like the boss character
Yeah.
or the elite, and then he's accompanied by a similar number of just like regular Sahuagin.
I like to imagine a bunch of Swagan are like in the reef.
Watching,
Yeah, watching,
yeah,
exactly. And some of them are with sharks and stuff like that, but generally, like they won't interfere. They just want to. Well, this is cool. We're gonna watch some like land walkers get killed and stuff. This is great.
yeah.
All right, so we'll give them a couple of Swagan lackeys, as it were, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
So Swagan warriors, ×1 champion. And what are these guys called? They're just called Swagans or Swagan
Yeah,
warriors?
the regular ones are technically just Swagan. The new rules 20 like the 25 rules refer to them as Sahuagin warriors.
I'll just call them Swagan warriors then.
Yeah, and I'll just update the sheet to say warrior as well.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
So,
Okay. All right.
oh,
I think we've. Oh, where'd the turtles go? Oh, there they are.
I moved them to the map layer.
Oh. I actually don't mind if they were on the token layer, and the idea is that they sometimes move.
Well, you can move them on the map layer.
Oh, I guess so. Alright, sure. Alright, I think that's it for today. And I'm very happy with the Shell Stadium, as I will internally call it. I won't write it down, but I'll internally call it the Shell Stadium. Um, Thank you everybody for tuning in with us. We will see you next time when the players defeat the Swagan champion and his warrior friends to see where we go to next after that. My name is Freewitz, and I hope you've had a wonderful time. Comment, like, and subscribe, all that other stuff. And bye-bye.
Ciao.